Hello, welcome to Tony's Bonsai. I've got several trees that need bits and bobs of work doing on them today, and we'll start off with this hawthorn. You've seen a lot of these trees that I'm working on today before, so they're kind of updates as well. This is the cascading hawthorn. It's not my best one that comes right down. This is the sort of more of a windswept style, and I decided to leave this branch here on to help thicken the trunk, but it's really going strong and I think it needs to go. These two are both growing out from the top, and I wired this one round, and I left that in place, and it just offers no value anymore. I could bend it round and do something like that, but I'm always in danger then of developing inverse taper, so just take that straight off. There's nothing more to do on this tree now, but what I would be interested in is hearing your opinion. I think I've got two options with it. I can either do what I initially planned, which is put wire on it and put it into a proper cascade like that, or I can kind of leave it as this windswept form, possibly prune it off maybe here and develop it into that normal kind of windswept style. I'm not attached to the tree, so I'll do whatever more people suggest. So let me know, would you say cascade or windswept? What we've got here is a really weird oak. It's like a double kind of cascading windswept style oak tree. Never seen anything like it, for good reason. But I've got a couple of branches here, well the sort of suckers really, growing up from the base. What you can see here, these are the two trunks, and this sucker that I left to grow, because it's growing vertically up, it's grown very healthily, it's thickened up, it's already as thick as this, and it'll soon be thicker than both of them if I leave it unchecked. So I'm not sure whether to go crazy and add another cascade or just chop it off, because I do have another sucker coming out of the base down here. So I could possibly leave that as well and almost turn it into some freaky clump style tree. Let me know what you think. Again, another question for you, anyone watching this, is these are the two options. Do I A, go crazy and turn this into another trunk, or do I just chop it off and have done? So for tree 2, it's either go crazy or chop off. Let me know. The first time I asked my subscribers to choose what to do with the tree, it was with this honeysuckle. There were, I think, 3 trunks. There was multiple options, and in the end everybody went with pretty much this option, which was to cut it back to 1 trunk, and it's doing really well. This is a collected piece of material, but the main interest is this chunky base, which I think works really well, and the wounds are healing up really nicely where I made those chops. I mean, a couple of them have almost completely healed only in a few months, which is fantastic, but I do need to do a bit of work on this today. It's got this one huge branch coming out of the top, which is nice, and it's helping develop this thick trunk, but what I don't want are these double branches. There's 2 coming from the same spot there, so I'll remove one of them. Again, there's 2 coming from here. I'll remove the weaker of the 2. And I'll remove one of these again. It must be a common thing with honeysuckle that they send 2 branches out from the same place. So I've taken those down now. These are kind of bar branches, as are these. So we do have a lot of bar branches there, and I want to get rid of that. So in effect, I've got bar branches, and bar branches again. So I only want to keep 1 of each. Oh, I've got a little branch there. I hadn't noticed that one. So because I've got that small one down there, I think I'm better keeping this one. Therefore, I'm going to get rid of that. Now that that's gone, I can only keep 1 of these, and one of these. Now I want that one, so I get rid of that. And now I can only keep one of these, and it has to be this one, I think. Although that then is above that one, but I still prefer it. And I'll just clean up all those cuts I've made. A nice kind of concave wound that'll heal up nicely. There. So they were me kind of, they were my thought processes. I just wonder if this is a bit high, this one, and whether this should become the new leader. There. I think so. Plus, I did notice I've been getting some dieback on that. So if I cut this off here, I'll leave this area to die back now. And I've got 3 nicely positioned branches and this little bonus one. But there's more will come from this next year. I just wonder while I'm at it, the way that died back, I'm wondering if I cut neatly to there, like this, it might not die back. It might just callus over nicely. There we go, that was quite dramatic, but I'm happy with that. These are the 4 major branches that I just removed. And what I've done is I've wrapped them with some wire. The first one is just the most simple. It's just a single wire, and I just want to get some movement in this really. I don't know if it's feasible to put movement into a cutting. That's cracked a little bit as well, but who knows? You know, it's nothing lost, because I'll just stick that in the ground and see if it takes. This next one is the thicker one, so again I'm just putting a bit of something in it, because I find these honeysuckles quite boring. I'm also discovering now that they don't really bend very easily. They're I can feel it doing like micro cracks, like it's tearing as I'm bending it. So I'm not really very hopeful about these, but you never know, you know. And this one's 2 stuck together. And this, obviously these are younger, so these are a bit more flexible. And perhaps if I come round with these like that, maybe that'll work. And I'll just stick those in the ground. I'll just go and just bury them in the ground. This is an old juniper that didn't make it, so the roots look all right. It just, you know, trees don't always make it. That's just the way it goes in bonsai. But there's some nice soil in there, and that's ideal for potentially propagating these, what are they called? Honeysuckles. I'll just get my rooting hormone, dunk it, and kind of support it using the edge of the pot. Like that. You never know, one of these out of the 3 might make it, or none of them might make it. I'm not particularly bothered really. I was only going to throw them away. So see what happens to those. Will they take? I am going to bend them and manipulate them so that the leaves are generally facing upwards, because if the leaves are turned upside down, it minimises the chance for survival. So I've manipulated them so they're all kind of pointing upwards with the nice bit of the leaf. And there we go. What odds are you giving it? I'm saying I'm getting one of them to live, even money. And here is my final conundrum of the day. It's a hawthorn. I don't think you've ever seen this before. It's just one of many hawthorns I've got of this style. It's had some wiring in the past, but it's at a point now where it's interesting, and it goes into two trunks. Take a look. So we've got plenty of nice healthy growth on this. It's doing really well, but as you can see, it's got two trunks at the top. It just never really appeals to me when a trunk goes up and then divides into two thick ones. So I'm open to suggestions for this one. What do you think I could do with this? I gave you two options for each of the two other things that I'd love your feedback on, but this one I'm not giving you any options. I want to hear your suggestions, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to suggest the most appealing and do it in a future video, and say which subscriber it was. So let me know your thoughts. I'm prepared to do anything and go as crazy as you like and see if we can, between us, come up with an interesting tree. So obviously keep your eye out for future videos to find out how the other trees go and what I decide to do with this one. And as always, thanks for watching. Have a great day. I'll see you soon.